Hey, good day, everybody. I'm Jim Stavridis, the Dean at the Fletcher School of Law and Diplomacy, and I'm here today with a terrific alum, a holder of our MAHA degree, Master of Arts in Humanitarian Affairs, Sasha Chanoff. It's great to have you here, Sasha.
So happy to be back at Fletcher.
Thank you. Exactly the right thing to say to the Dean. I happen to have your book right here, which I have read, which is just fabulous, and it's called From Crisis to Calling, Finding Your Moral Center in the Toughest Decisions. Say a little bit about how you came to write this book.
The book is based on a personal experience that I had that helped to shape and guide my leadership, and then it expanded from that experience to look at crucible moments that leaders face that help to define who we are and what our values are and can influence our actions and our leadership in the world.
What was the event that crystallized this for you?
I was part of a small U.S. rescue team that was sent into the Congo to evacuate Tutsis who were being massacred there after the president at that time, Laurent Kabila, said that Tutsis are the enemy. Our team was given a list of 112 people to evacuate and told not to take anybody else. My colleague and I arrived in this safe protection center where the 112 people were gathered. This was near the Congo's capital. These people had survived massacres and were gathered there. It was guarded by armed guards. We went in and registered those people, and as we were trying to leave, someone working there said, "You have to go into that tent and see the new people who came in." And I said, "I can't go into that tent. We can't look at anybody else." But my colleague, a woman named Sheikha, said, "Sasha, I'm going into that tent." And she stepped in and I followed her. And in the tent were 32 widows and orphans who had been brutalized and faced terrible atrocities. Many of their family members had lost their lives. It looked like they wouldn't survive. We left that tent and we started arguing that night. She said, "We have to take them." And I said, "Our boss told us we can't take them. We'll be going against our orders and we risk everybody else's lives because we were told we would fail." She finally said, "Sasha, we're humanitarians. We're on the ground here." She said, "Are we humanitarians or are we not?" And her words changed me, and I decided we had to try. What I found after that experience, we managed to get everybody out, and they resettled to the U.S. through our government's refugee resettlement program. And everywhere I worked across Africa, I was tuned into people who were off the radar, refugees who had kind of gone under the radar of humanitarian assistance and who were in the most life-threatening circumstances. So I started Refuge Point to identify those people and to get them to safety by working with the U.S. and other governments and the UN Refugee Agency.
Sounds fabulous. Now, you told me earlier that it's headquartered both in Cambridge, Massachusetts, and in Kenya, has about 70 people. Say a word about its mission and how's it going?
Our mission is to get refugees to places where they don't need to be refugees anymore. We do this by permanently relocating people to the U.S. and other countries around the world where they have a pathway to citizenship and normalcy. And we do this by helping refugees to become self-reliant in the countries to which they fled. We need to find new ways to approach refugee issues, and we have to do that by expanding opportunities for them to draw on their own strengths and own resilience and own talents to contribute to their new communities.
And if you think about a Fletcher education, I like to think our students walk out of here grounded in collaboration internationally, in interagency cooperation, private-public cooperation. It sounds like Refuge Point is really on the cutting edge of all that. Brings me back to Fletcher. What led you to the Fletcher School, Sasha?
I worked for 10 years in humanitarian response in refugee issues, both here in the US and across Africa, and I wanted to take time to think about what I had seen and what I understood, and I envisioned that I would want to start an organization. Fletcher School gave me the opportunity to do that. It helped me do a deep dive into what I had learned and what I had experienced, and then put that into practical steps that led to founding Refuge Point, beyond the idea of collaborating and connecting with so many extraordinary international professors and leaders here. I also found that the ethics, the values around why we ourselves become leaders and what undergirds our leadership were things that I discussed here. Who am I as a person, and what does it mean to me to act in this world, and how can my actions influence the actions of others? So I engaged in those kinds of discussions here in a way that changed my life.
And we're glad it did. It led to this marvelous book, it led to Refuge Point, and it led to us being very proud of you as a graduate of the Fletcher School. So congratulations and
Thank you
thanks
very
for all
much.
you're doing.
Such a pleasure to be here.
Thanks, everybody.